You live in a typical middle-class neighborhood near enough to the city to be convenient for work, but far enough out to be safe for your kids and wife when you're out of town on a job. It's a Sunday night. Your family has gone to bed. You let the dogs back in and lock the deadbolt as you do every night you're in town. Except for the dim glow of the scattered nightlights familiar to most of us, it's dark in the house. It's bedtime and work and school are going to come early. You crawl into bed, kiss your wife, and drift off to sleep, thankful that the air conditioning allows you to pull the heavy quilt up over your shoulders, despite that it's still 85 degrees outside. A few hours pass. The bedside alarm clock reads 2:22 Monday morning when your wife taps your leg and says, "Baby, I heard something outside." Sitting up in bed, you hear the dog growling in the living room. Something isn't right. You grab the Mossberg pump shotgun from under the bed and cautiously make toward the living room. Your wife grabs her 9mm and heads down the hall to the kids' room just like you had rehearsed. The dog continues to bark. Good boy, you say as you enter the living room, trying to calm both the dog and your wife as splinters fly across the room and the front door flies open. Oh shit, as you shoulder the weapon and send a load of double-aught buck across your living room and see the intruder fall in a heap. Before the "thank God" can even cross your brain, you see a second intruder coming through the door and you fire again. This time you hear the pop of your wife's 9mm and she joins the fight. Got to be those damn meth heads from town. They've been getting closer to this subdivision every month. Before the last word shouted to your wife leaves your mouth, you're consumed by a wall of bullets as you see multiple muzzle flashes from just outside the door. You turn to yell at your wife to get down just in time to see her take a load of buckshot to the face and her blood and brain matter splatter the wall behind her. Your side is on fire as the 5.56 bullets enter your body. One clips your spine as you're scrambling away and your legs stop working and you're on the floor. The last thing you see before you bleed out is a SWAT guy from the local PD holding your teenage daughter on the floor with a knee in her back as she screams and cries at seeing her parents murdered. Your last and dying thoughts are, why did this happen? We are not criminals. We are a conservative, law-abiding family. My wife was a school teacher, and your daughters are on the honor roll. What the hell just happened? 2 days ago, you and your wife went over to welcome the new neighbors to the community. Your wife made them some of her world-famous cookies, and you invited them to church on Sunday. Later that afternoon, you gladly accepted a friend request on Facebook from your new neighbor. They seemed a little odd, but in the few minutes they talked, they were pleasant enough. The next day, while you and your family sat in church, your new neighbor scrolled through your Facebook profile. He saw that Trump 2020 post and became incensed. You see, he's a staunch liberal Democrat and he hates your kind. Then he sees the hunting pictures you took last fall when your daughter bagged her first buck. Now he's seething with fury because he is wholeheartedly against the slaughter of innocent animals. He then finds your post from the last range day with your buddy and sees those scary black assault weapons on the table. That does it. He has to do something about the racist, domestic terrorists living down the street. He picks up the phone, calls the sheriff's office, and reports you as a threat under the new red flag law. Because according to the legislators who enacted them, the red flag laws supersede the Constitution, and you are no longer afforded due process, and you are considered guilty until you prove yourself innocent. The sheriff follows their SOPs and conducts a no-knock warrant because, as a potential public menace, the safety of the officers is their sole concern. Now you, your lovely wife, and 2 deputies have been killed for nothing. Your daughter will have absolute hell for the rest of her life. She will never be that successful person you dreamed of her becoming due to the emotional trauma of watching her parents murdered. The local liberal newspaper will report that you were killed after firing on and killing 2 deputies, and that, quote, over 1,000 rounds of ammo and 22 guns were confiscated from the residence, close quote. Oh, those 2 deputies were just following orders. Where have we heard that before? They left behind families as well and had served their community for over a decade. They didn't know you were a stand-up guy with a great family. They weren't allowed time to investigate those things under due process. They were told you had threatened your neighbor and were out on the street waving an AR-15 around. This is the reality of red flag gun laws. Innocent people will lose their lives. Red flag laws will be used for petty and vengeful reasons without merit. And don't forget that all gun laws are an infringement of our rights under the Constitution. One very important final point. While the murder of even a single innocent by any means is against God's law, unacceptable and unconscionable, the left continues to harangue us with the lie that America is at or near the top of the list with the most mass shootings. It is their main false talk. They push for these red flag laws, registration, and other measures that would have the sons of liberty in the streets, armed to defend their God-given. If we are to defeat these would-be tyrants, we must confront them with facts. Dr. John Lott and John Stossel put the lie to their mass-killing non-statistic with hard facts. The link to that important 5-minute video is shown below on the screen. I'll also post it in the comments below this video. Thanks for watching, and please share these videos as widely as you can, because folks, we're in the fight of our lives.